What up? What up? Had to come back, y'all. I know we was in the middle of a good one earlier. We go finish off with that. Had to abruptly stop, the stream earlier because let's just say a very important phone call came through. Very important phone call. So, but we gonna get right back to it. Same thing, you know. We just go pick up where we left off. You dig? So just go ahead and bear with your boy. Let me finish getting rolled up. Let me finish twisting up, rolling up. You should be doing the same, whatever it is that you do. Roll up, vape, dab, THC edibles, whatever it is that you do. Do what you got to do. But we about to finish talking about this. Is like I say, I had to end the live stream earlier on this one, just when the conversation was really starting to get good. But I had a very important phone call that I really had to take, so I had to do that. But we back now, so but let me finish getting my festivities together here, and we gonna talk about that. Donald Trump. Is Donald Trump our last president? That's where I left off last time. Is Donald Trump really gonna be our last president? He already said, he pretty much kind of said that shit already. Like, hey, come on out, vote for me. You ain't got to do that shit no more. Y'all remember that? Do you remember that? I remember that. I remember him saying that shit. I remember him saying a lot of shit, though. I'm gonna be honest with you. Trump gonna say what he wanted to say, and he's very unapologetic for it. And which, hey, do you, man? More power to you. I just put it like this. A lot of people get upset at, what Trump be saying and stuff. I don't let that shit bother me. I can't let it bother me. You know why? Because I'm not even in the same setting or tax bracket as this man. Shit, I'm trying to get there. And me tripping off, me trying to if I was one of those people that got mad at everything, hey, what's up, got mad at everything Donald Trump said, that would I would probably be a miserable person, but I can't be like that. And then, picking up where we left off in the last stream, people need to look at some of the things. Thank you. Appreciate that. People need to look at some of the things that he done. I don't care if you like it or not. Like I said earlier in the stream earlier, before I had to, end my live. If he didn't take Venezuela, like shit, we would be fucked as a country. So y'all better really think about it. It was a good thing that he took Venezuela and shit. It's a good thing that he's trying to get Greenland. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. People better look at that. Look at it. Y'all better wake up and smell the damn coffee. Wake up and smell the motherfucking roses. Donald Trump doing some gangster shit, and some of that gangster shit need to be done. For real. Some of that gangster shit need to be done. Then, like I said, like I said in my stream on Facebook, Obama deported a shitload of motherfucking immigrants. A shitload of them. Way more than Donald Trump, by the way. But you got a whole lot of people in the uproar because of the way Donald Trump doing it. Look, when it comes to politics and getting shit together and all this other stuff, nothing is pretty. Nothing is pretty. It's never gonna be pretty. Never, ever gonna be pretty. Then I will say this, to all the people that get mad at that put it like this. I don't agree how ICE is snatching up people, but to all the people, that get mad at, what's going on, keep yourself out of that shit. Keep yourself out of that shit. For real. It's sad that, that shit happens, but keep yourself out of that shit. People were more focused on picking themselves up. You wouldn't be so mad at Donald Trump or ICE if you was more focused on yourself. Just being for real. If you was more focused on yourself, you wouldn't be so mad at Donald Trump. And like I say, you don't have to like what he doing, but you better think about some of this shit. If he didn't take Venezuela, we would have been fucked. Because Venezuela had already stopped taking our fucking dollar and stopped selling us oil and started selling oil to our competitors, which was China, and China's on our ass. So he had to do what he had to do. He had to do what the fuck he had to do. And a lot of people looking at the way he did it, man, look, do y'all not know? Do y'all not know that he tried to negotiate with Maduro before he went over there and went gangster on his ass? A lot of y'all don't even know that shit. And guess what? Maduro's wife was like, take the deal. Maduro's wife was like, take the deal. Maduro, no, oh no, come and get me. And then when Trump showed him how strong that motherfucking pull-up game is, then he wanted to negotiate. Then it was too late for that. And y'all have to think about it. When you're running a fucking country, when you're running something, that's even when you're running a business. And that's the you got to think about that. Trump, he not running the shit like a typical politician. You know, not running this shit like a typical politician. He running like a business. And when you running a shit like a business, ain't no motherfucking feelings, ain't no heart and feelings and emotions and strategic decisions. And just think about it, if he didn't get Venezuela, we would be fucked. We would be fucked. So, and then y'all also have to think about it like this. America, we have been bullying motherfuckers for so damn long that if we take our foot off the goddamn tiger's neck at this point, we fucked as a country. So y'all better think about that shit. Y'all better think about that shit. America, we've been fucking with people for so damn long to where if we take our foot off the tiger's throat now, we fucked. You know, I'm not MAGA, I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a liberal. I just see what the fuck is going on. And it's sad that a lot of people can't see that shit. It's sad that, do y'all know China is on our ass trying to be the superpower. They've been planning this shit for decades. So shit, y'all better look at it like that. For real. Y'all better look at that shit like that. China has been planning trying to be the next superpower for decades. So, and if we didn't get Venezuela, you know what I'm saying, and we go get Greenland, we would be fucked. Yes, I keep saying us as a country, America, because fuck the black and white shit when I'm talking about this specific topic. Shit, us as a country in America, 'cause I'm stuck in this motherfucker too. I'm here, I was born and raised here, shit. So I look at it like, America, yeah, we got our problems, but at the same time, I was born and raised here, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all. It's a lot of fucking freedoms that we enjoy that other people in countries can't. And we taking that shit for granted. Like, for real. If we taking that shit for granted. We have a lot of freedoms over here that we can that we can enjoy. And we taking that shit for granted. And we have to really look at every fucking thing that's going on. Like, shit, you have all these other countries that want to team up against the U.S. because of all the shit the U.S. has done over the years. So we can't afford to take our foot off the goddamn tiger's throat right now. We can't afford to do that. And then people need to look at it like this. We know how our country is. We know the cost of living in this motherfucker gonna rise every day. We know how they get in politics. We know how it is. So why complain about all this shit instead of just learning how to maneuver within a room full of vultures? Jay-Z told y'all that shit. Even though, that's a bad time to mention his name because his name just came up in them goddamn epilator files. But I'm just saying though. For real. I'm just saying. We know how all of us have been in this country. Majority of us have been born and raised in America, right? So we know how this shit is. We know how it is. So instead of complaining about it, do something about your shit, person. Do something about your own situation. Do Do something about your own situation. You know, for real. That's why I tell people, like, you can't wait on no politician to save you. You know, you can't. And then, the thing with, a lot of black people in America is the mentality. The fucking mentality, man. That's the thing with a lot of black people in America, the mentality. We have to change that mentality. We have to. We know. Like all my black people in America, we know how shit can get. We know how it is for us, and we know how it can get. You know, we know that, a lot of us are born into a poverty. A lot of us are born in the hood, born into bad situations and stuff. But guess what? It's not our fault where you're born. It's your fault where you end up at, though. In life, it's not your fault where you're born, but it's your fault where you end up in life. You have to make the right decisions. You have to make the right decisions. And you have to motherfucking should be connected with the right people. You have to. So, because if you think about it, what we always say in life, it ain't about what you know, is who you know, right? We always say it ain't about what you know, is who you know. That's what we always say. So it's like with what it is with the mindset of a lot of people in America, especially with black people, and I'll say it's with black people, and the mindset has to change. The mindset has to change. Because I will say this, like, black people, like, we have a shitload of opportunity today in today's society. We have a shitload of opportunity in today's society. For real. A boatload of opportunity. So it's like, what's really holding you back? What's really holding you back? For real. Like, what's holding you back? What is really holding you back? Don't get me wrong, like, you got to think about it like this. We always gonna come across, as black people, we always gonna come across racist people, prejudiced people. But hell, it don't matter if they white, Arab. We always gonna come across that. But you can't walk around with that chip on your shoulder. You can't. You can't walk around with that chip on your shoulder, because I look at it like this. I can walk outside my front door. I can go do pretty much whatever the fuck I please. Do I know it might be a chance I come across a racist ass cop, or, come across somebody who's racist? Yeah, I know that's a chance, I take every day. But I don't let that shit stop me from doing a damn thing. I don't let that shit stop me from doing a damn thing. And, to all the black people who probably don't like what I'm saying and all that shit, it's the truth. You the reason that you ain't doing your biggest enemy is yourself right now. Your biggest enemy is your fucking self. Shit. These politicians, whoever, whatever, they go pass whatever laws and policies they want to pass. But you getting mad about all this shit and just blaming white people for every fucking thing that goes wrong in your life, or why you can't never do shit. That to me is playing a fucking victim. Because, man, look, I had to learn myself that shit, every decision I make, could hurt me or help me. Every fucking decision that you make could hurt you or help you in pretty much whatever it is that you're doing. And then, if you got kids, every decision that you make could hurt or help you, and definitely hurt your kids. So shit, I will say, like, shit, we not in the era of Jim Crow. We not in segregation. We ain't in no fucking chains and being beaten. We ain't picking cotton. Black people, shit, y'all know we ain't going for that shit no more nowadays. But at the same time, we cannot walk around with the mentality of white people just holding us back from doing everything. For real. That shit gotta stop. That shit gotta stop. Black people don't even, a lot of black people don't even know when they fucking being fooled. Because a lot of black people still vote Democrat. A lot of black people still vote Democrat. And then like let's do your history on all that shit. And like I said before, I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican, I'm not a liberal, I'm not a Trump supporter. But I do see a lot of shit that's in my face. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I can see past what's in my face for real. You know? So and when it comes to these politics, I like to ask a lot of black people, why you vote Democrat? And they'll say this, and that. And then I'm like, oh, okay, let's talk about the history of the Democrats. Let's just talk about the history. And let's just talk about how they even got black people to just start voting for Democrat. And once I get to engaging in conversation about that with them and all that good stuff, next thing you know, they be like, never seen it like that. Think about it, man. I had to wake up and smell the fucking coffee because as soon as I was able to vote, I'm 37 now, but soon as I was able to vote when back in the day, shit, I was Democrat this, Democrat that, not really knowing shit, not really knowing nothing, but then I had to start thinking, what I'm saying? Listen to my mother always told me, question everything. And so once I started questioning shit, really started doing my own research and just started educating myself on a lot of things because information is free, you know what I'm saying? And it's a shitload of books that you can go out there and read and educate yourself. Once I just started educating myself on a lot of shit and really opened my eyes to a lot of shit that's going on with politics, I was like, man, you know what? I'm not saying the Republicans are all good, but I definitely ain't fucking with the damn Democrats. I'll tell you that. And I definitely ain't no fucking liberal. I had to come to the conclusion that I choose myself. I'm not going to get my head wrapped up in that shit as far as like, I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican, I'm a liberal, the left wing and the right wing. I'm not going to get my head wrapped up in that shit. Because once you get your head wrapped up in that shit, you lose sight or lose focus on what the fuck you set out to do and what it is that you're trying to do. Once you give your time and energy to that shit, you lose focus of yourself. So, because I had to look at it like, they're going to pass whatever policies they want to pass. They're going to pass whatever laws they want to pass. They're going to do whatever they want to do. That's a circle, I'm not in, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? I'm not up in that upper echelon. I can't do shit. All I can do is I still got to abide by the fucking law. I still got to go by the rules and shit. I still got to take care of myself and my family. So it doesn't matter what they do, what they go past. I'm on a fucking road to figuring, to creating generational wealth and trying to leave my kids behind, some shit when I'm old and I'm gone. So getting caught up in all that shit, I'm like, hell no, man. They gonna do what they want to do. They gonna do what they want to do. At the end of the day, I still gotta be a law-abiding, tax-paying citizen. At the end of the day. So it's like, why the fuck even get your head even wrapped up in that, and then, I tell people why people get at it down Trump or why you so up his ass, why I ask people why they so up his ass a lot. Don't get me wrong, you have the right to support whoever you want to support. I don't hate anybody because of their political views and all none of that shit. I just be asking why. Because I had to learn the concept of when they say you got to free yourself from all this shit. And people take that literally, like when they say you free yourself from all this bullshit, people take that shit literally and try to, get on some other shit and I'm going to free myself from the matrix and all that other shit. You got to understand when people say you got to free your mind from all this shit. And if you don't understand that, you're going to be forever wrapped up in this shit. Forever. And so once I understood the concept of free my mind from this bullshit and things started turning around for me, things really started turning around and stuff I set out to do started, my visions started becoming my reality. And guess what? I'm a black man and ain't no white person stopping me from doing it. So that's why I say black people need to get that chip off their shoulder when it comes to all that shit. At this point in 2026, a lot of the shit that we do You know, a lot of things that happen in our life is on us. It don't matter if you're black or white. We just know as black people, we know for a lot of black people, it's a lot harder to make certain things happen. It's a lot harder to pull yourself up, but that's what makes it worth it. That's what makes it all worth it. To me, that's what makes it worth it. You know, and then once I figured out it's not about hard work, it's about smart work. Because my grandpa, always taught me, don't work hard, work smart. For real, like we got to think about all the advice, like far as black people, we got to think about all the advice that we done got from old heads, and all the other shit. Like, hey, don't work hard, work smart. and shit, if I'm able to go out here and do this and this, I can't blame the white man for saying, oh, why my life suck and all this other shit. Because my life don't suck. My life don't suck at all. You know why? Because I'm not going to let my life suck. I'm not going to go around with this chip on my shoulder that white people are keeping me down. I know as a black man in America, I'm going to come across some white people who are very biased, probably prejudiced, racist. I know that. I know that shit. But am I going to let it stop me? I done came across Chinese people that are very biased, racist. I done came across Arabs. I done came across Indians. I done came across it doesn't really matter. I done came across fucked up black people. Like, so, for real, sometimes, bigotry, at this point, bigotry almost has no motherfucking discrimination. You know, I done came across it all. And what chaps my ass, no diddy, is that, a lot of black people have so much potential and they use the excuse of, they have every excuse why they can't do shit, or they want to blame everything on white people, which you can't do that. For real. And then, one thing I will say, I be hearing a lot of white people say, we need to come together, unity and shit. That's fine. I'm with all that shit. But ain't nothing gonna change until people change their mindset. People can come together for one common goal, but how long will it last if people still got the fucked up mindset? For real. And then now, hold on, let me read this comment. You say it was getting better till Obama. No, the fuck it wasn't. It was getting worse. Now, because you got to think about it like this. Shit was already going south before Obama got in office. Did we forget about 9/11? Did we forget about the shit that happened under George Bush? Did we forget about that shit? So think about it. Every president walks into a bunch of bullshit. So we can't just blame one president. That's what I see a lot of white people doing. They quick to say Obama. Look, let's just be honest. A lot of white people just didn't like it because you had a nigga in office. But when you think about it, a lot of black people, they was fooled too, because if you thought Obama can do anything for black people, you're crazy. If he would have tried to do anything specifically for black people, they would have assassinated his ass. Like shit, like I said earlier, anybody that tried to do anything for the people, period, whether, it was a black, leader or even motherfuckers like JFK who tried to do shit for the people, period. Nope. They ain't having that shit. Get rid of your ass. And if Obama would have even tried to do anything remotely close for black people, specifically for black people, they would have got him up out of here quick as a motherfucker. You see how fast they got JFK up out of here after he was trying to dismantle the CIA and he wanted to declassify UFO shit. You see how fast they got him up out of here. Like, think about that. Think about it. So there was no way Obama was going to be able to do anything specifically for black people. It's like JFK wasn't going to be able to do anything specifically for, you know what I'm saying, black and white people. Because what JFK was going to do would have helped black and white people. Now, if they ain't going to let Obama do anything for black people, what makes you think they just going to let anybody do anything really to help one specific race? They want to, the game, the name of the game is divide and conquer, y'all. It don't matter like shit if they get if we get a white leader that want to do everything specifically for white people. The shit never flies. Shit never flies. Like, the name of the game is divide and conquer. Like, so people need to think about shit. People really need to think about it. Obama, you cannot blame Obama for shit. He wasn't gonna be able to do shit for nobody or do shit for the country. Shit was already fucked up before he got in office from George Bush. George Bush walked into some shit from the president before him. The president before him walked into some shit before for the president before him. Anybody that tries to do anything good for the people, period, it's a wrap. Like, for real. Anything that, so, you know, anything, any president that try to do, that will try to do anything to benefit the people. It don't matter if they black, white, Obama, Bush, Reagan, you know, it's not happening. It's not happening. So you could, like, you know, that kind of chaps my ass, no Diddy. You know, when people try to say Obama this, Obama that. Man, he couldn't. The shit was already fucked up before he got in. Like, and then for a lot of y'all people who don't know, every president has already set of shit that has to be done under their regime, under their administration. That's like, so if you thinking any president is just really coming in and just, hey, I did this, I did that. No. They have shit that's already, you know, put down for them to do. And one of the things that, and let me tell y'all something, Obama was a puppet. I will say that. Obama was a puppet. In my opinion, he was a puppet because I really looked at things. They used Obama to get Gaddafi. That's what the fuck they did. They used Obama to get Gaddafi. Like, y'all didn't really need to look into some shit. That's what Obama was used for. To get Gaddafi. Cause let me tell y'all some shit. Look at it like this. Obama came in. Before Obama, it was Gaddafi was in the U.S. was all cool. And then as soon as Gaddafi said, "Nah, I'm not giving y'all access to my shit, resources and all that shit," and the plans that he had, it's like, nah, we got to get this nigga up out of here. Because if we let Gaddafi go through with the plans that he want to go through and basically wake up the whole continent of Africa, we fucked. And so who they used? They used another black man to do it. Obama. Like, just think about this. They used what? They used a black man to take out. They used a black man to take out Malcolm X. Think about it. When it comes to shit like this, they kind of use their own to take out their own. Think about it. White dude took out Charlie Kirk. White dude tried to take out Trump. White people took out motherfucking JFK. Obama took out Gaddafi. Black people took out MLK. Like, should I keep going? You know, for real. Should I keep going? Should I keep going? Well, you see, once you understand the nature of your species, which is human beings, then you would know true freedom is impossible. Then once you stop ignoring what you think are conspiracy theories, then you will know, like, shit. You will know what's right in front of you. Because people ignore conspiracy theories and be thinking shit ain't true and all this other stuff. Man, look, people ain't just come up with a lot of this shit out their ass. Like, when when JFK made a certain speech. And once he made the demands of, I want to get rid of the CIA and I want to declassify UFO shit, once he tried to do shit for the people, for the American people, they got rid of his ass. 10 days later, pew pew. Think about this. It was all good when Malcolm X, when it was all good when Malcolm X was with the, black people stay with black people, white people go with white people. It was all good with that, But once Malcolm X did some traveling and came back, started preaching that unity shit, what happened? What happened? Let's get rid of him. and then for all the people that follow Charlie Kirk, I want y'all to look at this. Charlie Kirk wasn't taken out because of his beliefs with, the whole conservative shit, because of his beliefs and with black and white and all that stuff. He wasn't taken out because of that shit. Charlie Kirk was taken out because he started speaking too much about Israel and what our country doing over there and all this other shit. He started speaking too much on the wrong shit. And that's when they got him up out of here. Like, for real. Y'all need to start looking at shit. Start looking at certain things. Because basically, Charlie Kirk, whether you liked him or not, the man could influence the youth. For real. The man could influence the youth. And some of the shit that he was talking about, like, man, both sides ain't want none of that shit to come about. None of that shit to come about. Because I look at it like this. No matter what president we get in office, the U.S. always bowed down to Israel. And once you put two and two together, then you will know why. Then you will know why. For real. You say Erica Kirk looks like the bride of Chucky. Damn, what's crazy? I was thinking the same fucking thing. I was looking at that lady. I was like, that lady is evil. Like, looking at her eyes, I said, that lady is fucking evil, man. Like, just looking at her, I was like, that lady is fucking evil. Looking at her eyes, just looking at her, and I'm like, that is a mean lady right there. Like, it's just some. When you look at her, she's not an ugly woman, but when you look at her, you're like, God damn, that's a mean ass looking woman. That is a mean ass looking woman. Like, she looks mean, like she looks like she's very fucking ruthless. So, I wouldn't be surprised if, she had something to do with, Charlie Kirk's pew pew, or she knew something about it. Because a lot of shit just don't sit right. Once you go do your own research, I'll talk about that shit on another stream. But I'm telling you right now, to me, that is a mean ass lady. But basically back to what I'm saying is, Charlie Kirk was deleted because of the shit that he was talking about. And it wasn't the black and white shit. Once he started talking about Israel and what our country's doing, because everybody be interested in that shit, whether you're black or white, everybody be want to know what the fuck is, going on and want to know the truth. Oh no, we can't have that shit. He talking about the wrong shit. We want you to keep talking about black and white, divide and conquer. Because think about it. Charlie Kirk was upsetting a lot of people. Then he had a lot of people that liked him. It was divide and fucking conquer. Shit. But once he started talking about other shit that they didn't want him to talk about, that's what happened. Once Malcolm X came back from, doing his traveling and started preaching unity, that's what happened. That's what happened. People need to look at that shit. Look at it. Look at it. Shit, I see this conversation has went completely off topic from what it started. It started off, the stream started off as, I was talking about things about Donald Trump and things about black people that they need to change about themselves, the mentality and all that shit. It started off like that. But, if you ever seen one of my streams on Instagram or on Facebook or even on TikTok, then you should already know, like, shit, hey, I usually, just instead of giving it a title, I usually just call it open discussion, where we talk about a few things. Because this conversation has went totally, to a whole nother side, but in a good way, though. In a good way. Anyway, I'm about to get up off here, y'all. I'm about to go binge watch, some Jurassic Park movies, and and just enjoy the rest of my Saturday. Stay tuned for the next, EBT meltdown video. I definitely got a whole bunch of them coming. Other than that, appreciate it. I'll let your boy. Peace.